Ladies out there in YouTube land and Facebook land. This is Kate, and this is Monday, lunchtime to be precise. So I'm popping in here today because there's been a lot of activity going on. So before I jump into what I've got to say today, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and please leave me comments if there's something you'd like to know about with regards to coaching, etc. I would love to help you. And also, jump on over and subscribe to my Facebook group as well. I'm there as Kate Penwan Thompson Life Coaching, and you should be able to find any of my groups from there. So I have a couple of groups for different reasons. So I will always let you know the one that is the one to join today. So let's just jump into the nitty-gritty. I'm finishing up a very, very intensive online course called the Weightless Way Model. It's sort of a baby of mine because it's not just about releasing weight or finding your ideal body. It's a whole heap more than that, because diets really don't last forever. You can go on a diet and you can release weight, but if you don't change your lifestyle or your mindset around this, then it's not going to stick. The pounds will come back and they'll probably be joined by a few more as well. That tends to be how it goes. So how do we create our ideal bodies, especially in these times when, quite frankly, nobody knows what is happening? Here we're going again with another surge of the pandemic. Schools are going back to online, all sorts of things. I just had a songwriting event cancelled that was supposed to be live. So things are heating up again, which spirals off into everybody not feeling so great, everybody feeling a little stressed, a little panicked, a little worried about, okay, am I going to lose a job again? Am I going to be put off? Are the restaurants going to close down? All of these little things that come into our everyday life that we begin to wonder about. Now, the truth is, I could say just don't wonder about them, but that would be telling you an untruth. We all wonder, no matter even how well our brains are trained not to, we all will go there for a second. It's how long we stay there that is what our result comes from. So if you stay in this mess and then you start to reach out for the cookies, the wine, the cake, the Lay's potato chips, that's my go-to. We all have a go-to. Then yes, you're going to struggle with your weight, with your mindset, with being mindful about what you're doing in your day. And the other thing I want to address here too is, even though I know there's so many ladies out there in social media land that are worrying about the extra pounds they've gained over the pandemic, can't seem to release them, don't know how to change this, it comes down to, well, what can I have for free? And because what happens around that is there's a mindset about money as well. We're not looking at, are we investing in ourselves? We're looking at, what does it cost? The truth is, it's not about what it costs either. It's, and quite frankly, to tell you the truth, at the moment, I've severely discounted this particular program, like to the point of, it is normally $797, and I have discounted it to $297. This is a huge discount, and I'm doing it because I want a lot more people to be able to have this program and not only learn how to retrain your brain so you're not going to overeat again. You probably overeat again, but you're going to know what happens with regards to that. You're going to know and be aware and have mindfulness and a mindset around knowing when to stop eating. Mindset is huge in our day-to-day decisions, what happens in our life, how we cope with our life, what we actually do. Do we move on? Do we stay circling the pit? Do we regress by thinking about all the bad things that might happen that, quite frankly, 99% of them never do? So what is it that we actually do to ourselves on a day-to-day basis with our brains? And I'm talking in specifics today around releasing weight and finding your ideal body, because what does it take to do that? I have great faith in a lot of people that have written a lot of great things about releasing weight and certain diets, for the want of the name. But I really love the principles I have learned in Body for Life, which talks about eating sensibly 80% of the time, and 20% is those days when there's a party or there's something that you aren't quite up to par on, maybe only one meal. But it's not something to beat yourself up about. It's not something to start going down that rabbit hole of starting to look in the mirror and saying unkind things about yourself. That's another thing that I have in this particular program. Every day, there is a daily journal for you to print out and a daily affirmation for you to say all day that is specifically designed for you to be saying about your body. You see, what we don't love, we are not going to respect or treat well. We are not going to feed it the right fuel. We are not going to release the weight on a permanent basis or for a long-term basis, because we are not liking the very thing that we want to change. All of this is in my program called the Weightless Weight Model. It's an exceptional model. It has everything in there for you. There is daily meditation as well. What does daily meditation have to do with weight? Daily meditation actually puts you in a place where you've quietened your brain, where you have quietened down impulses that lead you off in the wrong directions, either eating the wrong foods or drinking the wrong fluids. It's not always alcohol people reach for. Sometimes it's soda. And man, that stuff is like, yeah, have you seen what Coke will do to cleaning things? We don't need to be consuming high amounts of soda, etc., in our bodies, because quite frankly, we're not fueling our bodies. We're feeding it a whole heap of sugar in disguise. And that sugar, you've heard it, a moment on the lips, a lifetime on the hips. Well, yeah, it dissolves and sugar becomes the thing that you think you need for energy, and you don't. Half an hour after you eat that donut, you're going to have this boom crash, because that's how it's designed. Our bodies aren't meant to cope with copious amounts of sugar. And if you read the statistics today, that's what we're doing. We are putting hidden sugar into our body all the time, 100% of the time. And we are not looking at the labels. We're not reading the labels. We're not being smart, girlies. We're just not being smart. And then we say, I can't lose weight. If we don't change what we're putting into our bodies, we can't change our body. If we don't change how we think about certain foods and certain drinks, then we can't change our body. And which is it that you want in the long run? Because if you're a youngster, and I'm not quite the youngster anymore, but at least I know that the majority of my life, somehow or other, I just had an inbuilt radar that knew what I should be eating for good and what I should be not eating for good, okay? And I thank the Lord for that, inbuilt radar thing that I've always had. But it's not something that's inherent always. It's something that you do learn and you put into practice as you go along. So adding meditations and affirmations to your day is going to help you get past the sugar cravings, the dumping of the sugar into our bodies, because what you eat at any stage of your life is going to determine whether you end up with diabetes 2, whether you end up with one of the diseases that are out there. It is now proven that behind all of the major diseases, sugar plays a part somewhere. Now, some people have propensities. There are hereditary markers in our families for, cancer and strokes and heart attacks. But if we change the way we eat, we can change some of that hereditary stuff to get down to a reasonable limit, instead of saying, oh, well, I'm destined to do this. This is going to happen to me, so I may as well go this route. No, sugar is really, really not the good thing to eat. So having said all this, and here I am playing with my I love these little things. They clip into my computer and I can actually put all sorts of little attachments into my computer. So I love them. But I'm just feeling very passionate about this today because of the simple reason that we need to understand, to function as well as we want to in this fast-paced age, as well as this age of a pandemic that you and I have never lived through before. We need for our brains to be smart. They need to be working. Our bodies need to be working. And to do that, we need to fuel ourselves the right way. So I will put a link, or you can just go to my website, which is katepenwarnthompson.info. That's .info. You can go there and you can have a look at my online courses. I am discounting all these courses at the moment because I believe that people are at home more, they're not going out more, and what better time to actually start some self-improvement and achieve some of the goals that you want. It's not that far away till Christmas. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? But it's not. And do you want to be in that holiday dress that you've envisaged, that you can see yourself in, that you've dreamed about, that little black dress or that little sparkle number? Do you want to be in that? Well, get cracking. Today's the day. So I'm going to be off and I shall see you tomorrow. Bye for now.